Get out already! Yeah, give us this house already. I can't believe this is happening in my own house. But if you really want this house, I'll give it to you. Just you wait and see. My name is Kathy Smith. I just turned 60 this year. I got divorced when I was young. My ex-husband was a heavy drinker and he used to verbally and physically abuse me. When he started to raise his hand against our children, I served him with divorce papers. After that, I single-handedly put our 2 children through college. Now I continue to work in flower arrangements, a job I've always enjoyed. Also, I've started online lessons a few years ago and have been enjoying the new interactions. My eldest son, Max, who has always lived at home, married a woman 2 years older than him. I thought that they would move out, but they asked to live with me. Since there was no particular reason to refuse, I agreed to live together, the 3 of us. My eldest son's wife, Anna, was quiet and not good at housework. She started learning it from me, and I thought she was a good girl. But now her initial image is gone and her true nature is fully exposed. In front of me, she talks bad and has a foul attitude, but in front of my son, she acts like a quiet and good wife. The housework she learned, she only does laundry for her clothes, the rest is left undone. This is supposed to be the house where I've lived for many years, but somehow I'm treated like an intruder. Yet I am somehow managing to live with these 2 who show no signs of leaving. But little did I know that day would greatly change my life. That day, after finishing my online lesson and taking a break, the house was filled with Max's yelling. "Hey, old hag, we're out of shampoo. I can't wash my hair." Despite being in the bathroom, his yelling reached all the way up to my room on the 2nd floor. He is like this every day, so I'm used to being yelled at by him. Not being very quick myself, I went to get the refill shampoo as quickly as I could. "Here, this, I'm sorry I didn't notice." "Too slow. It took too long after I called. Make sure to check time." "I'll be careful next time." Without saying anything, he snatched the refill shampoo from me, and at that moment I accidentally cut my palm a little deeper with the refill bag. Complaining here would just add fuel to the fire. Sighing, I took a bandage out of my first aid kit. Then Anna called out to me. "What? You got hurt? You're so clumsy. It's almost dinner time. Isn't the meal ready yet? I'm hungry." "Oh, is it that time already? I'll start preparing right away. Would you mind helping out, Anna?" "Huh? Why do I have to cook too? I'm not helping, so hurry up and get it done." When she was about to go, Max got out of the shower. He seemed to sense the tension between her and me and interjected. "Anything happen? Don't tell me you were being nagged by the old hag." "No, nothing like that. She just asked me to help her with dinner because she got hurt." She started talking to him in a sugary voice, completely different from her previous attitude. I recognized this routine and resigned myself to what was about to happen. "So she forced you to help. Hey, hag, you know Anna can't cook, right? Are you kidding me with this?" "I didn't force her. I just asked if she could help. When she declined, I was going to do it myself." As I was explaining myself, she quickly wrapped her arm around his and began to argue. "She told me she can't cook because she got hurt. Her hand. And the reason dinner was late was because she was sleeping, not working." "What? Why would you say such a thing? Sure, I hurt my hand, but I never said I can't cook. And I was actually working just before." "Enough. Whether you said it or not doesn't matter now. The fact that you tried to make Anna cook is true. It's your fault, hag." With that, he stormed off to the living room, his back to me. At that moment, she stuck out her tongue in satisfaction as if it was a victory, and then followed him to the living room. He always took her side and never showed any interest in me. And Anna was becoming a real headache. If only he could see her true colors, our lives would be so much different. There were a few times when it seemed like he might catch on, but she was good at hiding her true self and was quite clever with words, which made her a formidable opponent. One day, my biological daughter Lily brought her husband Jake Garcia over to visit. Jake, although younger than Lily, was very responsible and polite. I sometimes think he is too good for Lily, being a young man of such abilities, destined to climb the corporate ladder. "Welcome, both of you. Please come in." "Home, sweet home. Feels good to be back, Mom. Anything new?" Unlike Max, Lily is not prickly. She always brings a warm and gentle atmosphere around her. As I led Lily and Jake to the living room, I saw Max and Anna sprawled on the couch. As I was about to call out to them, Anna quickly sat up straight and began to fix her appearance. Then, with a fake smile, she began to talk to them in a suspiciously sweet voice. "Long time no see. Lily, you look more beautiful than ever. And Jake as handsome as always. Please sit down here." Anna then moved away from the couch she'd been sprawled on and headed toward the kitchen. Once Lily and Jake were settled and started chatting with Max, I followed Anna into the kitchen. Anna was in there preparing coffee for everyone but me. When I bent down to get some snacks from a lower shelf, she threatened me. "I didn't hear anything about them coming over. Are you messing with me?" "I did let you know, Anna. You just chose to ignore it." "Making excuses again. You'd better watch it." With that, she raised her hand, threatening to strike me. Just as I was preparing to shield myself, Lily walked in. "Mom, let me help. What's going on?" Anna hastily pulled back her hand. For the first time, I was taken aback as Anna was about to hit me. My daughter, Lily, moved closer to me, positioning herself protectively between us. "What on earth was that about? Surely, Anna, you weren't trying to hit my mother, were you?" "Of course not. I would never do such a thing. I saw something about to fall from the shelf, and I thought it was dangerous, so I was just trying to help, wasn't I, mother-in-law?" Yes, that's right. You saved me, Anna. Thank you. I'll take care of the rest of the preparations, so please, just relax. I'll take you up on that offer, then." With that, she returned to the living room. Despite her smiling face, her eyes showed no warmth. Recalling the coldness in her eyes and the near miss earlier, I felt a surge of fear grip me. Lily looked up at the shelf, her brow furrowed in an apparent confusion, but I was too consumed with fear to take much notice. Noticing my obvious distress, Lily rubbed my back gently. "Mom, it's okay. It's just us now, and I'll protect you while I'm here." Her words calmed me, the tension leaving my body. I was grateful Lily had come into the kitchen. If she hadn't, I'm sure Anna would have hit me. "Thank you. I feel better now." I managed a weak smile, but Lily saw through it. "Knowing you, Mom, you won't tell me even if I ask, but remember this, if you ever need help, don't hesitate to contact me. I'll be there for you any time." Lily's sincerity touched me, and I nodded in agreement. After that, nothing else occurred, and the rest of the day passed peacefully. Night fell quickly, and since it was getting late, Lily and Jake decided to head home after dinner. Anna offered to help prepare dinner, but Lily told her to relax and prevented her from interfering. Perhaps because Lily had witnessed her earlier behavior, Anna complied without complaint. With Lily's assistance, dinner preparations went smoothly. Working together in the kitchen, our conversation flowed freely. It was a pleasant change of pace, and for the first time in a while, I genuinely enjoyed myself. Once the meal was ready and we all sat down to eat, my eldest son praised the food. "This is delicious, Lily. Your cooking is the best." "Stop it. You're exaggerating." I'm blushing. "But I'm not nearly as good as Mom." "What are you talking about? Comparing your cooking to that hag's? Mom's cooking is awful. I'm just glad we get to eat a decent meal today." While he openly insulted me in front of everyone, only Anna simply smiled and nodded. Upon witnessing this, Lily and Jake stared at them with serious faces. The room went quiet until Lily addressed Max. "I think you're misunderstanding something, bro. Mom did all the seasoning." "No way, you're lying." "I'm not. I just helped with the prep work and a few other things." He glared at me, perhaps feeling tricked. Anna's smile seemed strained, and I felt something bad was about to happen. That's when Jake, who had been quietly observing, decided to speak up. "I can totally understand you make that mistake. My mother-in-law's seasoning is similar to Lily's, so it can't be helped," he exclaimed. Thanks to Jake, the tense atmosphere eased a bit. For a while, the conversation stalled, but Jake made an effort to steer it, telling fun stories and prompting everyone to talk. By the time we finished eating, the mood had returned to a cheerful one. After the cleanup was over and Lily and Jake left, a dreadful incident occurred. It was a time of fear reminiscent of my past with my ex-husband. "Hey, you old hag, you really put me to shame today." My son snapped, spewing insults unlike his demeanor when Lily and Jake were present. "There's no such thing as shame, you know," I replied. "Max, I heard that she invited Lily and Jake over to get back at us." "I overheard her and Lily talking," Anna chimed in. "Anna, Lily and I didn't talk about such a thing," I protested. "Shut up, you old hag. Anna wouldn't lie. Enough with your acting." He kicked me suddenly. I tumbled to the floor, paralyzed with pain. But his assault didn't end there. He approached me and kicked me repeatedly. Gasping for breath amid the pain, I was desperately trying to protect myself. All the while, Anna was watching this with a giddy smile. "You're always useless, and it makes me sick," he yelled. He said more, but my consciousness was hazy and I couldn't make out his words. Finally, he seemed satisfied and stopped kicking. Seeing my battered state, Anna burst into laughter. I remembered the terrifying days of domestic violence I experienced with my ex-husband and started crying out of fear. The sight of this only made them laugh even harder. "What? Are you crying? I don't want to see old lady's crying face, you know. Right, Anna?" "Yeah, it's too hard to see." I wanted to leave this place as soon as possible, but my body wouldn't obey. Then they twisted the knife further. "Pack your stuff quickly, old hag. Leave this house today." Isn't that a bit harsh? But perhaps she doesn't want to be here anymore. For a moment, my mind went blank. This house is under my name and filled with memories I've gathered over the years. I had never even considered leaving. "You understand? Pack your things within an hour and get out. This is our house from today. Move quickly unless you want to be kicked again." I could only submit to his uncompromising words. In agony, I started packing. Tears wouldn't stop flowing during the packing because of my frustration. At the same time, a sense of fear for the future and anger towards them arose. For the first time, I felt a strong resentment towards them and swore to fight back. Once I finished packing, they kicked me out without much conversation. As I was wondering what to do, the thought of my daughter Lily came to mind. I hailed a cab and, clutching at straws, headed towards Lily's home. When I arrived at her house, there were lights on, and I rang the doorbell. Through the intercom, I heard her voice. When she realized it was me, she quickly opened the door. She looked very surprised, but that was only natural. Until a moment ago, her mother was unharmed. But now she's got some bruises. carrying a heavy load, so it's no wonder she's surprised. She called Jake and asked him to carry my baggage, supported my body, and led me into the house. She helped me take off my jacket and let me lay on the couch. In my less than ideal condition, she checked the extent of my injuries. Jake brought a blanket to ensure I wouldn't catch a cold and gently laid it on me. Once she finished assessing my injuries, seeing the discoloration on my skin and a large bruise on my head, she suggested taking me to the hospital just to be safe. I declined, saying it was already late and I didn't want to be a bother, but they convinced me to go. Upon reaching the hospital, the examination results revealed that I had multiple fractures. Fortunately, there were no issues with my head, but they suggested that I should be admitted for a few days for observation. I was discharged 3 days later and returned to Lily and Jake's home. I'm really sorry, both of you. I don't know how to apologize for causing you so much trouble.
Don't worry about it. We're just glad it wasn't life-threatening. After we're settled in, can we ask what happened?
To be honest, I didn't want to tell her. But given the severe injuries, I figured she wouldn't be satisfied with half-truths. So I disclosed everything, including the verbal abuse and terrible treatment from Max and Anna since we started living together. She listened silently until the end. Her husband was also listening from a distance. After I finished my story, I made a request to the two of them. I hate to ask, but could I stay here for just a few days? I'll find an apartment that I can move into right away, so it's just until then. I begged them tearfully. To my surprise, their response was unexpected. Mother-in-law, please don't make that face. While you were in the hospital, Anna and I discussed this. Discussed what? We thought we should live together. What? Are you sure?
Yes, let's live together.
Never in my wildest dreams did I think they would suggest living together. Overwhelmed with joy, I broke down crying. Thank you, I said, repeatedly. They comforted me until I stopped crying. Afterward, we decided to live together, the three of us, and Lily and Jake made a proposal. It was to give Max and Anna a taste of their own medicine for all the terrible things they had done. But is it okay to do something like that to your own brother? Lily, you won't regret it?
I can't forgive those two. I believe they must not be forgiven.
Seeing that she had no hesitation, I agreed to the proposal. They asked me to leave the details to them, and I decided to let them handle everything. Around the time the month changed, I received a call from Max. Hey, we had no idea there was still a mortgage on the house. And what's this? We got a summons to court? What's going on? I never said there was no mortgage. It's your house now. You should be the one to pay. You gotta be kidding. We can't afford to pay that much. It's your house you built. You should pay till the end. I refuse. You understand the consequences of your actions, right? It was you who kicked me out, so it's not my business, I said. Huh? You'll pay for this. After he spat out his parting shot, abruptly hung up the phone. Once the call ended, I realized my body was trembling in fear. But believing Lily and Jake were on my side, I reassured myself and managed to calm down. When I later told Lily and Jake about the call, they seemed to have expected it.
Mom, just ignore his calls from now on.
Upon her advice, I obediently followed. Since then, I've been receiving calls almost every day from Max and Anna. Obeying her advice, I continued to ignore the relentless calls. One day, they showed up at his place. I was giving an online lesson at the time and was not privy to the initial conversation. After my lesson, I headed to the living room and heard familiar voices. Peeking quietly, I saw Max and Anna begging Lily and Jake. Please, just lend us a little bit of money. I'm begging you too, Lily responded.
How have you been handling your finances up until now? Weren't you contributing even a bit to your household?
Well, we were paying our cell phone bills and insurance, but we never gave any money to my mother. Lily and Jake looked stunned and let out a sigh.
So, You're saying that Mom was covering all expenses, including utilities and food, and despite that, you treated her like a maid, verbally abused her, and eventually assaulted her and drove her out of her own house. We don't have a single cent to lend to people like you guys.
What do you mean by verbal abuse and assault? Max hesitated, at which point Jake stepped in. I agree with Lily. When we found mother-in-law, she was in a terrible state. She even had to be hospitalized. That's clearly a crime.
That's why you should leave for today.
Hold on. At least tell us where she is now.
We have no reason to tell you, and we plan on taking this matter to court. We'll ask for punitive damages for the pain you've caused our mother, so be prepared.
You think you can say whatever you want because we're begging. You're joking. Max stood up suddenly, filled with anger, and lunged at Lily. I was about to step in and open the living room door, but Jake got in between Lily and Max. Max was effortlessly restrained by Jake and could no longer move. Feeling threatened by Max's loud and aggressive behavior, Lily called the police. Shortly after, the police arrived and took Max and Anna away. Once they were gone, I rushed over to Lily and held her close. I'm glad you're okay. Really glad you didn't get hurt. Jake, thank you for protecting Lily. They both simply smiled in response and treated me kindly to put me at ease. Later, the evidence gathered by a detective and the lawyer Lily and Jake hired ensured we would receive a substantial amount of punitive damages from Max and Anna. We found out then that they had each been having affairs and were in a messy situation. Now, not only did they have financial issues, but they also had marital problems to face. Freed from my abusive son and his wife, I regained my freedom and started to recover, venturing outside again with a sense of peace. Even so, I've received some contact from Max. However, this would be considered breaking the court-ordered no-contact rule between us. Every time this happened, I contacted my lawyer and had him handle it strictly. Later, I bumped into our old next-door neighbor at the supermarket. He told me that Max and Anna were constantly arguing about money and infidelity. Anna's true nature became apparent, and that seemed to be the catalyst for their divorce. Since then, they've put their house up for sale. Now the story turns to my private investigator's findings. Max, with his involvement in police matters, lawsuits, and now his divorce, seems to have become the talk of his office. Max, who had a big ego, quit his job immediately. Dumped by his affair partner, he now works part-time. Homeless, he seems to spend his nights in various parks and abandoned buildings. As for Anna, she had been staying at the home of the man she was having an affair with, but it seems she has recently been dumped. She's now seeking work and live-in jobs, trying to rebuild her life from scratch. Her beloved hobbies such as nail art and other fashionable activities have been forbidden, and she seems to be living a humble life now. As for me, I bought back our old house that had been put up for sale, and after some renovations, I now live there with my daughter, Lily, and her husband, Jack. Since Lily has qualifications in aromatherapy and massage, we decided to open a small shop on the spare land we had when we renovated the house. We've been managing well, not just through online lessons, but also with physical lessons in the shop, selling items and running a reservation-based aromatherapy massage service. It's a joy being able to do what we love, and even though we renovated it, being able to return to our own home brings happiness every day. Thanks to them who offered to take care of all complex issues like private investigators and lawyers, which is really hard for me to handle, and have been able to achieve our current lifestyle. I get along well with Lily and Jake, and recently received the delightful news that Lily is pregnant. I can't wait to hold my grandchild in my arms. Looking forward, my life will only become more joyful, and I consider myself very fortunate. I cannot thank them enough. I am truly grateful.